Hello everyone, I'm Steven Calimer. I'm here. I want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers Seattle Seahawks game, break that game down a little bit. You can check out some articles at SteelCityRings.blogspot.com. There's a lot of good articles there with some in-depth statistical information. I have a Facebook page, Steel City Rings. You can follow me on Twitter at Steel City Rings or at Steven Calimer. This Pittsburgh game, it's a big game. Obviously, they are big games from here on out. Seattle, they're starting to play a little bit better, it looks like, as of late. They struggled early in the season. Marshawn Lynch is out, but Rawls seems to be carrying the load pretty well. He had a big game, rushed for 209 yards last week. So a lot of their points come from the ground game and Russell Wilson making plays with his legs. He's not the most accurate quarterback, in my opinion. You know, he can throw the ball on the run. He likes when the play breaks down. You know, they design a lot of rollouts and play action and boots for him. You know, I think there's a reason why a lot of receivers want out of there. And, you know, Jimmy Graham, I don't think he's too happy with his role within this offense either. Jimmy Graham, you know, when he was in New Orleans, he put up a lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards, big stats, and that's what he was accustomed to with Drew Brees. Brees is a gunslinger. Russell Wilson is not. Jimmy Graham does not fit into this offense and what they try to do. And you know, to me, this offense its identity is a tough nose, run the football and play defense type of team, and let Russell Wilson make plays with his legs and his arms here and there, but you can't rely on him to drop back and throw the ball 50 times and win the game. He's just not that type of quarterback. What he is, though, on a 3rd and 6, he will be able to scramble for those 6 yards and pick up critical first downs with his legs. And don't get me wrong, he can do it with his arm, but he's not the West Coast type quarterback that, you know, that's going to pick you apart. They don't even really have the wide receivers to do that, but Steelers secondary is shaky. They are vulnerable, one of the worst in the NFL statistically, but they do come away with some takeaways, and they turn the ball over, which is good, and it's a part of their scheme. You know, that cover 2, trap 2 scheme that they play, and you know, they rely on turnovers. You know, turnovers dictate the outcome of a game a lot of times. You know, if you can come away in the turnover differential in the positive, of course your chances of winning that game increases dramatically. So that's what we need to try to do. Our defense is number 1 in the league with forced fumbles, rushing fumbles. I think they got 10. It's number 1 in the league, so they are stripping the ball, going after the ball, and the secondary is creating takeaways. They were tied for 5th in the league with 18 takeaways. So I think that you know, Jimmy Graham, we're going to see a lot of the same defense that Pittsburgh has been running. A lot of one-on-one down the middle. Lawrence Timmons on Jimmy Graham. They're probably not going to change up too much. That's what they do. You know, that's what we're going to have to get used to seeing. But you know, according to Football Outsiders, they have us ranked as the 3rd best rushing defense, weighted defense in the NFL. And you know, our defense can stop the run. So you know, I think we can shut Rawls down and contain Wilson in the pocket. Don't let him get out on the edge. Be responsible for your gaps, and you know, I think we'll be just fine. I think Roethlisberger and our offense will be able to, you know, score enough points to win this game. You know, Seattle does have a bruising defense. Their corners are immaculate, along with their safeties. Their defense is just top of the league still. But I think Antonio Brown is uncoverable in this league. I think he's gonna get his receptions and yards regardless. And with Martavis Bryant on the other side stretching the field, and he can take a short slant the whole way to the end zone also, it's going to be hard to defend. I think that we will put enough points on. We got a field goal kicker that if we get him in a reasonable range, that he is consistent and he will make the field goal. And I just think that we have to play good defense, stop the run, cover Graham, contain Wilson, especially on third and shorts or long, whatever. On third down, we have to get off the field on third down. And I really believe that Pittsburgh should win this game. And basically, not to look past this game, but Pittsburgh plays Seattle, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Denver, and Baltimore, and out of every one of those teams, they all have major injuries. Seattle this week, Marshawn Lynch, one of the best running backs in the NFL, he's out. So that's a plus for Pittsburgh. And then next week, Andrew Luck, he's out in Indianapolis. He's a gunslinger with our secondary being vulnerable. That's a plus for this defense, not having to face Andrew Luck and facing Hasselbeck instead. Denver, Peyton Manning, he's probably going to be a game time decision that week. It's like 3 weeks away, that game. I don't believe Peyton Manning will be able to hold up the rest of the year. His age and his health declined, just like you've seen last year. It broke down late in the year. It's happening again. I don't think he's going to be able to recover. Denver does have a dominant defense, but I think that we can still put points on the board against any defense in this league. It's going to be about our defense stopping the opposition, and I think that our defense is good enough to stop Brock Osweiler and that offense. And then you look at what happened to the Ravens. The Ravens just lost Flacco and Forsett for the season. Their whole team is depleted with injuries. This season's basically over for them, but they still will come out and play tough. We can't look past them. We're going to have to play a tough game against Baltimore and win that game. And then in Cleveland, the same way. They're, one of those hard-nosed teams. We just blow them out, yeah. We'll see Johnny Manziel again. He's starting for the rest of the year. It should be a win. We should be able to win that game. So out of these games, I look at, this Seattle game is going to be a testament to where we're really out. We have the ability to run the table. Oh, and I forgot, excuse me, the Cincinnati. We play Cincinnati one more time. And, that's going to be a huge game against Cincinnati. They're one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. They're not really dealing with any injuries like a lot of other teams are, especially us also. We're dealing, we got Le'Veon Bell, all-pro running back, he's out. Offensive line, another Pro Bowler, Pouncey, and, our tackle Beecham. So, we're dealing with injuries of our own, but Cincinnati, their team is overall healthy, and they're solid. So, it's going to be up to Andy Dalton to put more points on the board than we can put on against them, and I like the Steelers' chances late in the year. But the remainder of the games, if we can come out of there with, one loss, we're guaranteed to go into playoffs, and when the cold weather hits, we're ranked number 2 in the NFL from, I think, since 1978. We're basically New England is 43-5 in cold weather games, and Pittsburgh is 34-14 in cold weather games. And basically when wintertime gets here, Pittsburgh has a good philosophy on how to win games, and it's run the football, play good defense, and let Ben Roethlisberger make plays in and outside of the pocket and just do what he does. And I think that's the recipe to win another Super Bowl. And I believe, with Julian Edelman, he's just out for the rest of the year for New England, and that's a big injury to their team. I don't know if Amendola can actually duplicate what Edelman brings to that team. but it's a huge injury because Brady and Belichick, they love their system is predicated on throwing in the flats, pick and rub routes. The short passing game, which Edelman is one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, and they're going to miss him big time. So that's another plus for Pittsburgh. Basically Pittsburgh had the hardest schedule in the NFL, and especially the hardest schedule going against offensive teams. We played the best offensive teams in football as of yet. But if we look at the last half of this season, how it's shaping up, and with these injuries, we're getting a lot of breaks, and we need to take advantage of them breaks. And it seems like the stars are aligning for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go capture that 7th ring, and I believe they can do it. And I believe this group is special, and if they just do what they're capable of doing, we're in every game. Every game comes down to the fourth quarter. I believe that we need to put teams away more often than we do, like Cleveland, blow them out. I believe we need to get on the scoreboard, put up points quick, and close the door. Pin our ears back and rush the quarterback, and don't let games come down to the last drive in the fourth quarter. And if we can do that, these remainder of the games, we have a good chance in the playoffs to make some noise. So go check out some of my articles at SteelCityRings.blogspot.com, and check me out on Twitter at Stephen Calamer. Thanks for listening. Steeler Nation. Have a good day.